Hello class! This week our new story is Island of the Blue Dolphins. I'm going to take this time now to go over your vocab words for the week. Some of these words may be new to you, and some of them you may already know and know the definitions of. As I go through this, we'll look at some pictures and the definitions and how they are used in different sentences. I will post this to Google Classroom, so as you're working through your homework for the week, you can always come back and double check and study up on these words. Okay, our first word this week is nod. Then we have headland, kelp, lair, ravine, shellfish, sinew, brackish, cove, and deafening. The first word we're going to go over is nod. Nod is a verb. It is something that either we do, or in the case of our story, it's what the animals do. Our definition is to bite at or nibble something persistently. Persistently means over and over again. Or it could mean to wear away or remove by persistent biting or nibbling. Some pictures for nod. Here is a picture of a wolf, and he's chewing on a bone, kind of maybe like your dogs do at home. Okay, he didn't just take one bite off this bone. He's chewed and gnawed on it and wore it away. Same here. This is a picture of a tree that a beaver has gnawed on. Eventually that will fall over and it will use it for its home. Nod. The dog gnawed at the bone all day. Or Anna decided to gnaw on the chicken leg to make sure she got all of the meat. Our next word, sinew. This one is going to be a new word for most of you. It's a piece of tough fibrous tissue uniting muscle to bone or bone to bone, a tendon or ligament. It's a noun. It's a thing. Pictures of sinew. Here's an elk and some deer ones. In most cases, they use sinew in order to put on arrowheads, in order to make some sort of spear, back before they had machines to make them. So, here's a sentence. Mary used sinew to tie her arrowhead to the stick. Okay, this is inside an animal's body, or inside of us, and when it dries, it's a very tough material. Headland. Headland is part of the land, usually connected to some type of island or edge of a landform that's by the ocean. So it's a narrow area of land that sticks out into the sea, usually high land jutting out into a body of water. It's a noun. It's a thing. So here's some pictures of some headlands. Okay? If you're on an island or the edge of a coast, you'd go to the headland, kind of right here, to look out over all of the ocean around you. Same here. This is kind of a type of a peninsula, but it's a headland. You could go out here and look out across the ocean or look down the shoreline. The old ruins are on the headland, or the ground on the headland was soaked after all of the rain. Kelp. You might not have heard the word kelp, but I bet you've heard the word seaweed. So it's a large brown seaweed that typically has a long, tough stalk with a broad frond divided into strips. So here are some pictures, just like you were probably thinking with the word seaweed. But in our story, and this week, we're going to use the word kelp. Very tall sea plant. Lair. Lair is also a noun. It's a den or resting place of a wild animal, where it sleeps, where it would have its babies, kind of hidden. So here are a couple pictures of what a lair would look like. Okay, in this case it looks like we have some fox in a lair. Here it's just an open one, and deep inside, who knows what would be in there. Maybe some bears or some other type of wolf or fox. We could say in a sentence, the cougar retired to its lair, or the coyotes hid in their lair and wait for their prey. Shellfish. This may be a word that you're familiar with. It is an aquatic shelled mollusk. oyster or cockle, crustacean, crab, or shrimp, and usually one that is edible. So in our story, more than likely, they're going to be eating some form of shellfish. So here are some examples. Anything that usually has a hard shell or is encased in some type of shell. So we have lots of different examples here in our pictures. Lots of people have allergies to shellfish, or another example of a sentence could be people who live on the coast tend to eat more shellfish. A ravine. This is a deep, narrow gorge with steep sides. Here are some examples of a ravine. Deep, deep ravine. Usually some form of shallow water runs through the bottom of it. Okay, same here. It has steep sides. It would be hard to get out of a ravine if needed, but usually some form of water flows through here and it has eroded away the sides to make it so steep. Okay, a ravine. They were traveling in a sandy ravine when she spotted a flash of color in the distance. Or at midday they put the hounds into a ravine thickly overgrown with young trees. Those are our vocab words this week. But as you can see from here, I had a few extra ones. Brackish, cove, and deafening. Those aren't actually your vocab words, but they're words that we'll encounter in our story this week. Brackish means kind of stale or yucky water. Cove is a place kind of hidden off the edge of a coast where people might park their boats or fish, where the water's a little bit calmer. And deafening. Deafening is a very, very loud noise that we would hear that would make you kind of shudder. Okay, I will put this on Google Classroom, so if needed, you may always come back and refer to it.